Hey guys, Todd Falcone here. I'm going to do a little follow-up on a video I posted up on Facebook yesterday. And this is really for people that consider themselves to be struggling in network marketing and maybe getting frustrated and thinking about quitting or questioning their involvement, their decision. And I think it's a pretty common thing that happens, obviously. I mean, in any business, you get somebody that gets involved and they're there for a little bit, and then something happens. They hit a roadblock or an obstacle or what they perceive to be an obstacle for themselves, and then they get frustrated, and either they can get through that obstacle and continue and end up being successful and figuring that thing out by finding a solution to whatever that problem is, or they give up. And there's a lot of people that unfortunately do give up. And I know for me, I've certainly had frustrations and stresses in my business where I felt like quitting, and so I know what that's like. But here's something that I think is fairly fascinating for me, because I get a lot of phone calls into my office all the time from people that are asking for my advice and seeking, some kind of, solution or answer or whatever. And I help out a lot of people. I'm very happy to help folks out and see if I can give them a little guidance. And this is what I think is pretty rampant. And I think it's something that, especially if you're right now struggling. Okay, so let's say, in fact, if you can watch this if you're not struggling, because I think it'll help you out with some of your strugglers. But this is really for people that consider themselves to be struggling in network marketing. And here's the deal. So you're struggling, you're kind of at your wit's end. You're like, okay, I'm frustrated. I'm losing interest. I'm not having as much fun anymore. I think the first thing that we have to do is have integrity with ourselves. Before we can, and this is, unfortunately, this is something where you can go look in the mirror right now and say, hey, is Todd right with my situation? And there's obviously different situations. There's situations where people have really, really applied themselves and worked hard and just didn't get the result. I mean, a long period of time, long commitment, and like nothing. I mean, I've put 755 people in front of our presentation in the last 6 months, and I haven't signed anybody up. Okay, there's something wrong there. And in that case, the something wrong is, well, what's going on in the actual presentation or the interaction with the person? It's not that you're not doing the activity. But here's something that I think is scary. So many people come to me and they're like, oh, they go, I'm a failure, and that's the word they'll use. I've failed at network marketing. I'll give you an exact scenario. Okay, phone call comes into my office. Todd, can you help me out? Oh my gosh, I'm a failure in my business. I'm like, wow, that's a pretty strong word. When you say you're a failure, what do you mean? Well, I'm failed. I've failed, and I'm like, okay, so tell me about your experience. So, what company are you in? I'm in Company X. Okay, cool. And Company X, in this case, happens to be a very successful, long-standing network marketing company, not some fly-by-night money game. I'm like, okay, and how long have you been in that company? I've been in that company for whatever. In this case, it was about 2 years. Okay, cool. 2 years in this company, very successful company that you're now a failure in, that you've self-designated yourself a failure in. Okay, let me ask you, and this is exactly what I do, guys. This is so good. When somebody comes to you and they're like complaining that they're not doing well, that their business sucks, whatever it is, the first thing I always go to is, just tell me this. How many people in the last 90 days, and be real with me, be realistic, how many people in the last 90 days have you presented your product and or business opportunity to? Have you personally shared it with? And the answer I always get is just like this. The answer is this: well, not enough. So right then and there, I already know what the issue is before I even ask the next question, because now they've told me already, well, I'm a failure, but they're only a failure because they're actually not doing anything. Then I go, okay, so be real. Tell me, you don't have to give me an exact number, but 90 days, is it closer to 10 or is it closer to 1,000 that you've talked to? Oh, no, well, probably around 15. So you're sitting here telling me that you're a failure, and that you're giving up on network marketing, and network marketing has done you wrong, and that it's just, you're not cut out for it, or that you're a failure in it, but you've only talked to 15 people in 90 days. So there's something hugely wrong with that picture. because nobody on this planet can tell me that talking to 15 people about a product or business in 90 days would be considered enough for anybody to even remotely have any success. So it's not that they're, a failure. It's just they've just not done anything. So I think one of the most important things is being accountable. Real, and that's like a rampant issue in this profession, where people just are not accountable. They say that they're a failure. They point their fingers, and this happens all the time. So great question when somebody comes, and they will come to you. People come to you and go, oh my gosh, I'm so frustrated. This business isn't working out for me. I'm thinking about quitting. And in a lot of those cases, when you ask the questions that I just shared with you, you're going to find out that they're not really a failure. They just haven't done anything. So let's get real. Let's become accountable. That's one of the biggest reasons I run this 12-week accountability program a few times a year, because it is such a problem. And sometimes we need help. I'm hiring right now. I've got a personal fitness trainer I'm starting to work with again because I need some help. We all need help in certain areas of our lives, and grabbing a buddy, grabbing an accountability partner, being with a group of people, that can be very advantageous. So look, this is a rampant issue in our profession. So rampant. You have, and I get to see it because of what I do. I have people call my offices all the time, every week, emails, Facebook messages, phone calls, you name it. And I reach out to people. If you're watching this video, you may be one of the people that I talked to and asked for advice, and I helped you out. And we come to the realization, like, oh my God, I'm really not actually doing anything. So it's one thing to do the work and not get the result. Then we can identify, okay, what are you doing while you're actually doing, rather than doing nothing? So just something to think about, something to consider. I'd love to hear from you. I'd love to hear your comments, because this is a big deal in network marketing, where people just don't get to work and aren't real with themselves as far as what the actions that they're actually taking place in their business. So, all right, a little bit longer video, but worthy discussion, because it's an issue.